All right, let's dive into one of the greatest plays ever written, Shakespeare's Hamlet. We're going to break down this epic story of revenge, madness, and murder in just a few minutes. So, buckle up.
So, let's kick things off with the question at the heart of this whole thing. Just picture this for a second. Your dad's ghost shows up and tells you to commit murder. I'm not kidding. He points a ghostly finger at your uncle, who, by the way, is now the king and your new stepdad, and says, "He murdered me, avenge me." I mean, what do you even do with that? That's the impossible choice staring Prince Hamlet right in the face. Okay, so here's our roadmap. We'll start with how something is rotten in the kingdom, then get into this ghost's terrible mission. After that, we'll look at Hamlet's method and his supposed madness, see how it all spirals into tragedy, and finally, look at the ultimate price of revenge.
All right, part one. Something is rotten. We're in the castle of Elsinore in Denmark. And let me tell you, the mood is weird. The king is dead, yeah, but the mourning period? It was suspiciously, almost insultingly short.
And at the center of all this is Prince Hamlet. He is absolutely devastated. But it's not just grief, it's mixed with this deep, raw disgust. Why? Because his mother, Queen Gertrude, has already married his uncle, Claudius, the guy who just took his dad's throne. The wedding was so fast, it's like a slap in the face. So while everyone else is celebrating, all Hamlet can feel is that something is just deeply, fundamentally wrong here. Okay, now on to part two, a ghost's terrible mission. And just when Hamlet thinks things can't get any stranger, well, they do. The supernatural is about to crash this party. The ghost of Hamlet's father shows up and confirms his absolute worst fears. He reveals this terrible secret. He wasn't sick. He was murdered. Poisoned. Claudius, his own brother, poured poison in his ear while he was sleeping. Now the ghost has a mission for Hamlet. Avenge me. But there's a catch. A big one. He's not to harm his mother. He has to leave her to heaven.
But can you really trust a ghost? Or is it maybe a demon sent to trick him into damning his own soul? And this is where Hamlet's real struggle kicks in. See, he isn't a do first, think later kind of guy. He's a thinker, a scholar, and he's completely overwhelmed. He can't just go and kill the king based on the word of an apparition. No way. He needs proof. So that brings us to part three, the madness and the method. What's Hamlet's big plan to get this proof? He decides to hide the truth right out in the open by pretending to be completely insane. And this is where one of the play's biggest ideas really comes into focus: appearance versus reality. Think about it. Hamlet acts totally erratic to hide what he's really up to. And at the exact same time, Claudius is playing the part of the perfect, caring king to hide his own terrible crime. It's like everyone is wearing a mask. So the whole castle basically turns into a web of spies. It's a total viper's nest. You've got the king's advisor, Polonius, spying on Hamlet. Even Hamlet's old friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, are on the king's payroll to watch him. But here's the thing, Hamlet's not stupid. He knows he's being watched by everyone, and it just makes him feel even more paranoid and alone. So how is he going to get his proof?
Well, when a group of traveling actors shows up, Hamlet has this absolutely brilliant idea. He's going to have them put on a play. But he's going to add one little scene, a scene that reenacts the murder exactly as the ghost described it. He calls his plan the mousetrap because it's designed to do one thing: catch a king.
And it works, like perfectly. The second the actors reenact the poisoning on stage, Claudius just loses it. He leaps up, starts shouting for light, and storms out of the room. And for Hamlet, that's it. That's the proof. The ghost was telling the truth. His uncle is a murderer. Okay, time for part four. A spiral of tragedy. So Hamlet has his proof. Mission accomplished, right? Wrong. This is the exact moment everything starts to go horribly, horribly wrong. See, getting the proof is one thing, but getting the revenge, that's about to trigger an avalanche of death. So Hamlet is all fired up and he rushes to confront his mother. While he's yelling at her, he hears a noise from behind a curtain. Thinking it's Claudius hiding and spying, he pulls out his sword and just stabs. But it's not the king. It's Polonius, the advisor. This single tragic mistake, this is the point of no return. And killing Polonius brings a whole new player into the revenge game, his son Laertes. And he's the complete opposite of Hamlet. You've got Hamlet, the thinker, who waited so long to find proof. And then you have Laertes, the doer. He doesn't need proof. He doesn't want to think about it. He just wants immediate, bloody revenge for his father. And the fallout from this one act is just catastrophic. Polonius's daughter, Ophelia,
The woman Hamlet once loved is completely shattered. Her father's death at Hamlet's hand pushes her into actual madness. Not the fake kind, the real kind. And she ends up drowning. This is just too much for her brother, Laertes. Fueled by grief, he teams up with King Claudius to kill Hamlet once and for all. And that brings us to our final section, revenge's final price. The whole court is about to pay for one man's crime. It all builds to this devastating final scene. Claudius and Laertes have a plan, a supposedly friendly fencing match, where Laertes' sword will have a sharpened, poison-coated tip. But they've got a backup plan just in case. A cup of poisoned wine. During a break, Queen Gertrude makes a toast to her son and drinks from that poisoned cup. She has no idea. The fight starts up again. Laertes gets a hit on Hamlet, scratching him with the poison. But then, in the chaos of the fight, the swords get swapped. Now Hamlet, without even realizing it, is holding the poisoned weapon. And then Hamlet wounds Laertes. In his dying moments, Laertes spills everything. He confesses the whole plot, the poisoned sword, the poisoned wine, all of it, and he points the finger straight at the king. So now, with his last bit of strength, as the poison is killing him, Hamlet finally gets his revenge. He forces Claudius to drink from the poisoned cup and stabs him with the poisoned sword. He fulfills the ghost's mission. And the final price of all this? An absolute bloodbath. When the dust settles, the body count is staggering. You have King Hamlet, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, the Queen, Laertes, and finally, Hamlet himself. That's a grand total of 8 main characters dead. The entire royal court is gone. With his dying breath, Hamlet makes one last request to his best friend, Horatio. Tell my story. He wants the world to know the truth of what happened here, not the story of a mad prince, but the full, tragic story of why he did what he did. So in the end, did he win? I mean, he did it. The murderer was punished. But with pretty much everyone dead, you have to ask yourself, was that justice? Or was the price of revenge just way too high, creating a tragedy that was even bigger than the first crime? That's the question Shakespeare leaves hanging in the air.